So, Minky and I watched Elven Kings Under the Sky, which is season 2, episode 1 of The Rings of Power. Really quick, I don't want to recap all of The Rings of Power from last year, but I'm a Tolkien fan. I'm not like a crazy Tolkien fan, but I mean, if your middle name is RR, I like you. So Rings, Thrones, love it all. I consume all that. I really liked the first season. My only problem was just kind of pacing stuff. And I want dwarves, I want Harfoots, I want kind of all the characters to care about in every fucking episode, unless they're shelved for some reason. Like if you do like a volcano thing, they're all buried under rubble, and you leave them there for an episode, and I come back to it, I wouldn't care. But if you're in the middle of fucking dwarven shit, I want dwarven shit in the next episode. So that's about my only like complaint about last season. And then some minor storytelling things, and then Iseldorf was a fucking douchebag, but are we supposed to like him? I don't think so. So, kind of worked out. So, first off, we watched this. It is the most gorgeous show that has ever been filmed, ever. It's just so pretty to look at. It's amazing. You can see where the money goes. Super well acted. They replaced a Dar. Dar used to be Benjen Snark. Now he's this new guy. It's great. He is amazing. I thought that was going to throw me out, and I just literally watched 1 through 8 again in kind of preparation. So watched all of season 1, finished that, and then immediately went in and watched this first episode, and it didn't throw me off at all. So I thought that's a great job on casting. I really like him. Dare I say, I like him better. So let's get into it. So we start out and we see the fall of Sauron. And this does a couple things. One, it establishes Sauron as a shapeshifter, which is going to be important later. But it also kind of gives us like a glimpse of what I feel like is Sauron's like true form, right? This like wormy black mass of evil thing. And he like eats some fucking worms, and he has to build up and eat a rat because of Dar, and like this whole horde of orcs just like fucking Ides of Marched him, right? Like just stabbed him a million times. It's really fucking cool scene. So he's dead, then he like reforms. I get the impression it's over probably like years. He like has to make himself into a bunch of worms, and then eat a rat, and then, you know, eat a squirrel, and then eat a rabbit, and then he finally eats a person, and he turns into Halbrand. Big mystery last season was like what was in Sauron's sack around his neck, and what was that whole deal about, and how does that play into it? So kind of a lame reveal, but like the people that were on the boat with him, so they kind of like hook up with him, and they're like, oh, my people used to work for the king of this land, blah, 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 blah. And then Sauron's, I'm pretty sure he summons like a crazy turtle power monster to come in and like wreck the boat, and then he steals that, and then he hooks up with Galadriel, and then last season, right? Speaking of Galadriel, I really like her, but I feel like she's a very up and down. Did you watch True Blood? You know Tara, like season 1 Tara, fucking awesome. Season 2 Tara sucks. Season 3 Tara, fucking awesome. Season 4 Tara sucks. That's Galadriel. Just kind of like episode to episode. Like I can't get a handle on how much I like or dislike her. Elrond, fucking amazing. I love him. He was one of the best parts in this episode. That guy, like you can see how he becomes Hugo Weaving later. And there's this great thing where he has the like Elvis rings, and they're like, give me the rings. And he's like, no, I just don't know that we can trust them. They're like, you're going to give them to us. And he's like, fuck you, I'm going to Harrison Ford myself off this cliff. And that's awesome. And I think that really shows like his, when he gets so mad at Iseldorf and kind of like, was like, fuck mankind for so long, because Iseldorf's like, I'm not going to destroy the One Ring because I suck. Anyway, hate that guy. So Elrond is good. Gal Galad. He's so, I love him, but I hate him. He's so pretentious. He's like the perfect casting. Later on, when he puts on one of the Elvish rings, he like has a ring on like all fingers. He even has 2 rings on one finger, so he's like, ooh, I have been perfectly matched, so I can put my one ring on today. Anyway, so Elrond escapes with the rings, right? He gives the rings to the wisest, oldest elf ever. I can't remember his name. First guy that wears the Ring of Fire before Gandalf, gets it later. That's the whole thing. If you're not into Tolkien, I might just drop some things here and there, and I'm sorry for that, but just bear with me. So he gets it, and then he's gonna go out into the ocean. He's gonna throw him into the ocean, and then he has like a oh, is that a turtle monster? Maybe I should keep these. And they get together back in the end, and he's like, I've decided to keep him. He's wearing the one. He drops the other two. They go bouncy, bouncy. Gal Gadot puts one on. That's his name now. Galadriel puts on the other one. They like Voltron him into the middle, and all of Elf Kingdom is restored. Pretty cool scene. My one minor thing. This is a thing from last series. So if you know your lore, the Elvish rings, they're kind of. They weren't made with the other rings. So Sauron comes in and he gets with Celebrimbor, and they make the rings for the dwarves and the men. And he makes the one ring. And then he fucks off. And Celebrimbor makes the Elvish rings. So, I mean, he's been influenced by Sauron for a long time, but he's not like, Sauron's not like there, like Sauroning into the rings. So the Elvish rings have kind of been, you know, like fucking Gandalf wears one, right? Like, so it's sort of like this different feel with those rings. And you get it because they were sort of made after like Sauron had left, but they're made first in this version of it. I'm not sure what that means. I just like holding a sword while I talk about Lord of the Rings stuff. This isn't a very good sword for this, but I'm gonna wield it anyway. Anyway, so Gandalf is the stranger Gandalf. I feel like it. He says a lot of Gandalf-y stuff at the end of the last season. He did the Toucan Sam, like, oh, follow your nose, type of thing. So it feels like it's him. The other thing, he could be Saruman. Like, they were getting kind of tricky on, like, is he Sauron last season? And now we think he's Gandalf. So maybe they'll do this thing that we think he's Gandalf, but really he's Saruman. I kind of hope not, because I like the idea of his character arc and, like, how he's with the hobbits. It just really tracks if he's Gandalf. So that's what I'm sticking with. He's with Nori. They're being followed by some weird helmet guys, and then they think they're gonna catch him, but really, oh look, it's Poppy. So I'm really glad that she's back. I really liked her. Where else would she be? She's basically Sam. She needs to be in there. So they have some good stuff. Nori eats some beetles and likes how the beetles tickle her throat. That was a kind of a funny scene. I like how they're doing this like earthly elemental magic with Gandalf, and he's having visions of like, need a fucking staff, and he's like swimming his hand through the rocks. Really cool stuff with all of that. So their stuff was good. I did not care for the Númenórean plot that much last season. It was very jumbled. That was my least part of it. Very pretty, but kind of stupid. So there wasn't a lot of Númenórean nonsense in this episode, but there was a little, but it's okay. Didn't have to deal with that too much. But you know what was lacking was fucking dwarves. No dwarves. None. Give me dwarves. I'm very excited to watch episode 2. I hope it's full of dwarves, but I want to fucking see Durin and Disa every damn episode. That's what I want from here on out. So you better give it to me. And then Adar, new Adar, awesome, with the orcs, and he's like kind of re-ruling the kingdom, get everybody together. You know, Sauron was going back there. He arrives. He's like, hey, if you set my people free, I'll like tell you where Sauron is, which is hilarious because he is Sauron. And Adar's like, nah, I'm going to put you in a fucking prison. And Waldorf Sandwich is like, I'm going to torture you. And Sauron's like, nah, okay, I'm going to befriend this fucking dog, beast, warg. So he befriends that, and he's like, Waldorf, I'm going to fucking kill you. At some point, and Waldorf's like, and then Adar makes him like kneel before me, and he like kneels, and he's like, pledge your allegiance to me, and he's like, I pledge allegiance to you until either I die or you die. And he does this like Sauron grin. That's pretty cool. And then he's leaving, and the warg eats Wardorf, whatever, because he's like doing another Sauron grin. So really good Sauron stuff. And then he shows up at the big Elven forge where Celebrimbor looks out, and he sees him. And I know that they've kind of said Halbrand's person non grata, but Celebrimbor doesn't know he's Sauron yet. But also I don't get why he hasn't changed his appearance, because we know he's going to change his appearance because we saw the fucking trailer. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm looking forward to this next episode, and there better be some fucking dwarves.